welcome to another episode of Three Guys on Mic. I'm here joined by my two co-hosts,
Jeremiah,
Aaron,
and we're back again. 2021, trying to start off on the right note.
Big year for us.
Yeah, it's going to be a big year for us. And as we know, it's Super Wildcard weekend. We have, for the first time, 6 playoff games instead of 4 playoff games in the Wildcard.
Yep.
And I'm honestly excited. There's going to be some good games. And we're going to go off and start off with Bears and Saints. I'm going to have Maya lead off on this one. What do you think about this one?
All right, so Bears versus Saints, right? Obviously, I'm going with the Saints here, guys. You know what I mean? A 13-win team versus an 8-win team. You know what I mean? At home, rested up, a healthy Michael Thomas, a veteran Drew Brees, a veteran head coach, right? Alvin Kamara, the potential offensive player of the year, right?
Yeah.
If not MVP, right? Okay, he's not gonna be the MVP. I'm saying.
Yeah, he's having an MVP type season.
Yeah. All-star defense. You know what I mean? Bears starting off 5-0, losing 5 straight. You know what I mean? And then kind of get back on the rebound here. They're gonna hit a brick wall. For me, it's plain and simple. I'm going 24-7 versus on the Saints.
Okay. Well, 24-7. What the fuck? I just realized. So, what I'm thinking is, how these two teams met in week 8.
Mm-hmm.
Not Drew Brees. Mitch Trubisky wasn't the starting quarterback. It was Nick Foles.
Mm-hmm.
That was a close game. Drew Brees was playing that game. Win in overtime. Since then, Mitch Trubisky has played above average football. Has a 2-to-1 interception to touchdown ratio. He's averaging about 250 yards a game. But I don't see that as enough to beat the Saints. The Saints have one of the best defenses. They can stop the run. They can get pressure with that front four. They also have great cornerbacks who could shut down any receiver. And I just don't see the Bears really competing. I think the Saints are going to get off to a slow start with Michael Thomas coming back. Alvin Kamara missed the game. But I see the Saints winning 34-17.
Okay. That's a high scoring game. Okay.
And I'll piggyback off of what Willie said. Mitch Trubisky, he's been having those last good couple games. Was it like 4 weeks?
Yeah,
where they had like the highest scoring offense.
Like 30 plus points.
Yeah, but then again, you got to look at the teams he played. You know what I mean? And included like the Vikings, the Jaguars. So it's not really that impressive. And I do think the Saints are gonna. I don't want to say blow them out because I kind of want to give respect to the Bears defense. Because then again, Drew Brees is still working with the rib injury, and Michael Thomas, we don't know how healthy he is. So I'd say the Saints win probably. I'd say 34-21.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now we're gonna go on to the next game.
Yeah.
Let's go Steelers-Browns.
Steelers-Browns. So I'll start here. The opposite of Colin Cowherd. I'm all in on Believe Land. I'm all in, man. Bringing back the slogan right here, man. For me, well, for all of us, no secret, right? Smack mouth football wins Cleveland games, right? So it's smack mouth to play action, right? Baker can't take a snap from shotgun and just read the defense. That was hard to say. Just read the defense, right? He has to have a play action. He has to get the run game going, right? That's crucial for them to win this game. And I think this team knows that. You know what I mean? Like they know their identity, right? Yeah. It does hurt them. Kevin Stefanski is out. You know what I mean? They lost Joel Antonio. You know what I mean? But I still think, losing a guard sucks, right? But they have one of the best O-lines in this league. You know what I mean? They have the best O-line in the league. Yeah. And so for me, I think the defense needs to pin their ears back. You know what I mean? Miles Garrett has to go after people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this defense has to play. It's all or nothing, right? Last week they didn't have their DBs. They had a COVID breakout, right? This week they're getting them all back, right? So last week when they played Steelers, they had if you watch the actual game, they had no-name safeties, right? Yeah. They had practice squad players. This week it's not going to be that. They have Denzel Ward back. You know what I mean? And so for them, I think this is a different ball game. I think all the plays on the they're all a go, right? Yeah. They're gonna get creative with it. The big thing for me is no turnovers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Baker's been doing really good in the back half of the season. He has to continue that right now. And so for me, I'm picking obviously Cleveland Steelers.
Okay. What I saw from the season is that the Steelers kind of limped their way into the finish line, right? They limped their way into the playoffs. I still think they're a good team, but I just don't see them as that juggernaut. Keep in mind, this is a rivalry game. Anything could happen. Unpredictability is always it's certain in these games. And with Juju having that quote yesterday that they're still the same Browns team, no matter who's on the roster, they're still the same Browns. That's gonna add fuel to the fire.
For sure.
But Big Ben is well rested. These teams have played twice already. They just played last week. They have a ton of film. They're accustomed to each other. I see this game being close, but Big Ben pulls away. He has a clutch drive, 23-20, Steelers.
Okay.
Yeah. And for me, I think the X factors in this game, huge X factors, has to be Chubb and Hunt.
Yeah.
They have to get them going against the Steelers defense because the Steelers defense is top 5 in running and passing. and Baker does have to play well. And I think the with the Browns, like Maya said, they have to play hungry. The defense has to go after Big Ben because we know he doesn't do good under pressure. And he's like Tom Brady, but he doesn't really show it. But once you get after him, he kind of like starts to like downplay everything. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't play to his full potential. And for that reason, I think I still have the Steelers in this one.
Okay.
I just don't see them losing.
I
to the
could
Browns.
I can see where the Browns win this game, but without Stephen Stephens.
Yeah, you don't have your head
You know
coach.
what I mean? Yeah,
you don't have
whatever.
your head coach. You don't have your starting all-pro guard.
Yeah.
So I think that just like
Well, keep in mind.
plays a huge factor.
Keep in mind, he didn't get like thrown out, so he could still be in contact with.
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what
It
I
was
mean?
just because of
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
right?
So like,
So it's gonna be interesting to see
yeah,
how they
like
communicate.
I mean, we're not in the building. You know what I mean? We're not in Ohio. But for all we know, like he could be in the Zoom meetings every single day.
Yeah, he
and
could be-
and on game day he could have a headset at his house.
That's what I was gonna say. He
Scripting
could
the
be
plays. You know what I mean?
in Baker's helmet somehow.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not out of the question here.
Okay, now this is a game that I see really no one really talking about and hyped up about, but Seahawks Rams. What do you guys see about this game?
Lemon, why don't you start here?
Hold on, let me get this. All right. So I'm gonna start off here with the Rams. I think the only way they win is you have to pound the ball against the Seahawks, which I don't think they did very well in the last time they played. What was it, week 16? They didn't really use Darrell Henderson. They didn't really use Cam Akers all that well.
Okay.
And then, Jared Goff. We all know he
Yeah,
plays.
the thumb. Yeah.
And I think an X factor is Jared Goff.
Yeah.
It's just all on him, Everyone thought he was a really good quarterback coming out. Had those really good 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
And now this year is really showing like that offense just runs through him because he's a turnover machine. So and then with the Seahawks, I think with them, all you have to do is run the ball. You have to find a way to run the ball against the Rams.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, it opens up the play action, and hopefully,
Which is what the offense is kind of built around. Play
they're kind of
action.
like the Rams.
Yeah.
Like they just play off play action. And I think with this one, I have to take. It's hard again because they're in the same division and they played 3 times, and they literally saw each other 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But for this one in Seattle, I'd have to go with Seattle again.
Okay.
In a close game, though, I'd say 27-21.
Okay.
Okay. Lemon, I think you need to put more respect on this Rams defense. I think when this Rams defense played the Cardinals last week, I think they played with an undrafted, rookie quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Like a rookie in a sense. I mean, he played in the AAFL. You have to put some respect on this team. Aaron Donald going after you every single play. Michael Brockers didn't play last week because of COVID, right? You have one of the best DB tandems in all of the league, right? With that, I think the Seattle Seahawks have been playing rougher and rougher as time's going on. You know what I mean? Their offense has kind of slowed down, become stagnant. So for me, here's how I have it. The Seahawks are winning if Goff doesn't play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think if Goff plays, that is a totally different ball game. I'm saying the Hawks are probably going to edge out the Rams, right? But it's hard to beat a team twice. It's hard to beat a team. You know what I mean? Like it's one of the hardest things in the league to do. The Rams defense is hot. Like I said, the Seattle offense is cold. It's stagnant, right? Like I mentioned, the DB core. It just for me, it's more stacked up against the Seahawks, right? It's the factors of what they're gonna have to go against. You know what I mean? And the Seahawks' big thing has always been the 12th man, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's always been the thing. They don't have that this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so for me, I'm not even gonna call it an upset because I'm giving respect to the Rams. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm taking the Rams here.
Yeah.
I'm taking them 21-28.
Ooh, okay. Well, what I see is both teams had the ups and downs, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Seahawks lost a game to the Giants. We're like, how'd they lose that game? Then the Rams lose a game to the Jets. We don't know either. But what I see with the Seahawks is that their team did a complete 180. Russell Wilson was carrying for the first 8 weeks.
He was like the MVP.
Yeah, he was the MVP.
Yeah.
Carrying the team, and then all of a sudden you started to slow down, and the defense picked up. The defense was carrying that team. Big performances by Jamal Adams. Bobby Wagner is still on that defense. He's the quarterback of that defense. But what I've seen in the last 8 games, except for the exception of the Jets game, the Seahawks haven't scored over 30 points. Their offense has been stagnant. The Rams defense has Jalen Ramsey, who has the speed and the size to match up with DK Metcalf. They have Darius Williams, who could help with Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, I think he's still gonna play good, but if I'm Aaron Donald and I see Jared Goff with a broken thumb, right?
Yeah.
You have to have a career game right here. You have to.
100%.
Yeah.
This game has to be on you. You're honestly, everyone thinks you're the best player in the NFL. This has to be your game. If Jared Goff plays, I think he's going to be a game manager for the first half of the game, and then they're just going to see how it plays out and then just let him go. I got the Rams here, 28-27.
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's pretty good.
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead around like the same scoring.
Yeah,
range,
around the
28,
same.
something like that.
Okay, this is, in my opinion, the game of the week. This is the game I'm looking forward to the most.
Hell yeah.
Colts Bills.
Yeah.
What does Maya see about this game?
Okay. So, in no AFC East biased at all, I'm going Bills here. You know, I said it's revenge from last year. Obviously, they didn't play right in the playoffs, but the Bills lost to the Chiefs last year, right? In a heartbreaker, right? And so for me, this Bills team hasn't won a playoff game, and God, I don't even know if I was born when they, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't remember the last time they won a playoff game, right? And so I feel for me, like, that drought, you know, that like starvation, you mean, like, that's what's filled them this year, right? It's got them to this point. 13 wins. 13 wins, guys. You know what I mean? That is insane.
Yeah.
Josh Allen playing out of his mind. You know what I mean? Like he's not the MVP. You know what I mean? Because Aaron Rodgers is MVP.
But he's having an MVP.
He's having an MVP season, yes, once again. You know what I mean? You know, I said for me, the Colts defense doesn't match up with the Bills. You know what I mean? They don't match up well with Stephon Diggs. You know what I mean? And they don't match up well with Cole Beasley. You know what I mean? And then Sean McDermott, like his screen game work. You know what I mean? It, like they just don't match up. You know what I mean? And even if you shut down in like a cover 2 or cover 3, right? You still leave room for a 6'6", 225-pound man to run the football, and he runs the ball exceptionally well. He actually had more rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson in the first 2 seasons of his career.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, a lot of people this year are forgetting that at first we thought he was just a run-first quarterback, and then he started passing the ball.
And then he throws 35 touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
Scary.
For me, I said the Bills get a run game. They put it away in the third quarter. It's done in the third quarter. That's what I said for me. Phillip Rivers in his last few games has not looked all too hot.
Yeah.
I understand he passed the touchdowns for Dan Marino or whatever. I think it was. Yeah. He's still for me. I'm taking the Bills here. I'm taking them 35-28.
Okay. You know, I think the Colts are a team that could run down your throat with Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines. You know, they could also they could play the check down game really well, probably as good as anyone in the NFL. The Colts defense, I do like them. I think they're a top 5 defense, but as you said, the matchups don't play well. Only thing that I'm kind of like nervous about for the Bills is that their run game hasn't really been all that great.
Yeah.
Their run game, you know, they haven't really found their identity when it comes to the run game. And obviously in the playoffs, you need a great run game to, succeed. Stephon Diggs, you know, we know Stephon Diggs for that one playoff performance, right? Against the Saints, that great one. I think after this game, he's going to be known for a second one. He's going to go off this year. He led the league in reception yards this year. I don't think anyone's slowing him down. Xavier Rhodes, I don't see it. No, I really don't see it.
Or even Rocky Sin. You know?
I don't see it. I think Josh Allen puts the NFL on notice. Bills 31, Colts 23.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Those are both pretty good. I don't know how to start this off. But you know, I actually had this one in a close game.
Okay.
But it's only because if they execute. So I think it's kind of like Russell Wilson. You have to have Josh Allen throw out of the pocket. Because if he's a pocket passer, he's just going to dot you up and just shred your defense, right?
Yeah.
And then with the Colts, I have them, like you said, the check down offense. That's what they're good at. Phillip Rivers, you know? And I don't think they have that big playmaker receiver. So Tre'Davious White, Dustin Poirier, Micah Hyde, you know, Josh Norman, they're all going to have a field day, I feel like.
Yeah.
And the only way to get through this Bills team is running the ball, in my opinion.
Coverage sacks are going to be a big thing.
Yes.
One thing I'll say, Lewan, not to cut you off, like Ed Oliver and Jerry Hughes, you still have them on the defensive line too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And T.Y. Hilton hasn't looked the same all year.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton. I mean, he had like those spurts near the end
he had
of the season,
spurts.
but then again, it's against bad teams. You know what I mean? So yeah, I take the Bills in this one. I say 35-24.
Ooh, okay. Higher scoring affair. All right. I have Ravens and Titans. This is the game that I'm looking forward to. This game.
So it's a rematch. It's an overtime thriller rematch.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start off with this one. We all know Derrick Henry had 2,000 rushing yards this year. Last year, this man marched into Baltimore and just embarrassed that franchise. You had the MVP right there. The MVP right there didn't put up the game that we thought he was gonna put up. But I see the Ravens going into the playoffs. They're on a hot streak. Ever since that COVID outbreak, they haven't lost a game. They've just been on a roll. Lamar Jackson and that offense with Hollywood Brown, Des Bryant, they're finding their identity. They're picking up steam. You know, I don't think it's a lethal passing attack, but I still think it could be serviceable. both teams are built around the run, right? But what I see is one team could be down big, and I trust them. I trust the Titans to be down big, and I think they could come back because they have Ryan Tannehill, who's a great quarterback. They have AJ Brown, who's great. But I think the Ravens defense is gonna have their hands full with Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson, I think they're gonna be off to a hot start with the scripting. They're gonna have a scripted first drive, be amazing, but they're gonna, hit a wall eventually in the game. I got the Titans 23-17.
Okay. I like that one, Will. I agree with you. I have the Titans here. Here's what I say. Mike Vrabel, as good a coach as he is, as even greater player as he was, right? He knows, and he's gonna make Lamar throw. Like, if he's gonna lose this game, he's gonna make Lamar throw. Because for too long, people like, it's been too long. People know Lamar's just gonna run, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like you have to have a spy on him. You know what I mean? Like Lamar can't get loose, right? And Mike Vrabel knows this, and he's an amazing coach. If you see clips from him at practice, he'll actually put on like pads and stuff, and he'll hold bags and coach kids up. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can't beat that. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing feels like a franchise, right? I said the cowbell's gonna be ringing, right? You're gonna ring the cowbell. Derrick Henry, you know what I mean? Like he just, if you haven't stopped him for 2 years, like in all the games that you've played Derrick Henry, what makes you think, oh yeah, we're gonna stop him right now? Like it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like he's showing no signs of slowing down. He's just getting better and better. You know what I mean? He just eclipsed 2,000 yards, like you said, right? And I said for me, when are we gonna admit it? Ryan Tannehill is a top 10 quarterback. I mean, 3,800 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, and 106 QBR, right? Come on, you know what I mean? And then you think, oh, yeah, that's a good quarterback. Maybe the running back's not good, but then Derrick Henry has 2,000 rushing yards. You know what I mean? It's like this team is phenomenal.
Maybe
you know what I mean? And I mean, I'm giving credit to the Ravens. The Ravens are a phenomenal team. They have an athletic roster. You know what I mean? You have what should be an all-pro defense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have Yannick Ngakoue, Calais Campbell, you know what I mean? You have Marcus Peters, right?
Derek Wolf.
Yeah, and then you think like, oh yeah, but then it just doesn't show on it's like a paper roster, you know what I mean? It's a paper roster, and so
not translating to the field.
Exactly. And for me, it's not enough, you know what I mean? And then how they play, I understand they're picking it up recently, you know what I mean? But picking it up recently, and the team that's been hot for weeks now, you know what I mean? I'm going with the Titans, you know what I mean?
Then again, you can also see that the Titans have had like performances like against the Bengals, like against the Packers. Yeah. But I'm still like, I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, it's just a clear-cut answer that the Titans are gonna win, because they also look inconsistent a lot throughout the season. But I mean, I'm just saying, because the Ravens they're the hotter team right now. They're going into the playoffs.
Yeah. But how many playoff games has Lamar won?
That's true. Okay. That's true. But also he's only had 2, or 1 that he started and the other one came in late. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Okay. I agree with you here, Will. For me, I'm going Titans, 35-21.
Ooh, okay. All right, little man.
I'm gonna have to agree to disagree.
Ooh.
Because I don't think this is only a revenge game for the Ravens or for Lamar. I think it's a revenge game for Mark Andrews, Mark Ingram, Hollywood Brown, and the whole offense.
Yeah. Jake.
So the Ravens here, I think I'm gonna say I think they upset the Titans at home,
Okay.
and I think that they get their revenge on Derrick Henry and somehow stop him.
Oh God.
And I think Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters are gonna put the clamps on AJ Brown.
Yeah, and Corey Davis.
Corey
Davis clamps himself.
One thing I think about it when I think about this game is like, it's like you have to pick your poison. The Baltimore defense has to pick their poison. Are we gonna let Derrick Henry run all over us again, or are we gonna have Ryan Tannehill, who's the lesser of the 2 evils? You know what I mean? He's the lesser of the. He's not as good as Derrick Henry.
Yeah. You're
gonna have to make him beat you, and you have to jump out to a big lead. They have to have a great script, and they have to play a great first half to keep the win.
And they also have to blitz. They have to put a lot of pressure on Ryan Tannehill, because I think they have the corners to keep up with.
Yeah, they have
AJ
the size,
Brown,
they have the speed for
Corey Davis.
One thing we'll say before we move on to the next game is like you said right there, Will, like they jump out to a lead, right? Like, you're not going to stop Derrick Henry, but the only people who can stop Derrick Henry are the Titans, because if you jump out to a lead, they're going to stop running him, because you're going to have to throw the football. And so right there, I agree with you, Will.
Yeah.
Why don't you go into...
also one thing, if the Ravens get down, Lamar is 0-10 when he's down by 10 points or more. That's a recipe for disaster. Last game. This game to me is on paper, to me it's not intriguing, but when you get down to the what players are
Bits
saying,
and pieces.
what coaches are saying. This is going to be an intriguing
Coaches.
matchup.
Oh,
yeah.
Bruce Arians.
Washington football team versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you see about this game? I know you're going to have a lot to say about this game.
my
The Washington football team? Aren't they from the NFC East?
The great
Yeah.
team.
Oh, they didn't make it?
No.
Oh,
no, we make
okay.
the class,
Oh, okay.
No, we're trying to get a higher draft pick.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Alrighty. Brady has the weapons this year, right? He has the weapons to work with, right? I said for this game, when you go last year to the Wildcard game, right, when they played the Titans, right? I mean, I watched it. When I watched the game, man, like you just knew the second drive, like you knew it was a wrap. When you have no weapons to throw to, when you have practice squad receivers, right? There's only so much you could do. I think this year Tom Brady has the weapons, and for me, it's gonna be a dink and deck game. And so what I mean by that is it's gonna be the same system that he's run that's won him Super Bowls, right? It's gonna be 5-yard outs. It's gonna be slants. You mean it's gonna be stop and goes. It's gonna be curls, right? And then he's gonna hit you with a play action over the top for a post. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be this consecutively as the game goes on. And I feel for me,
System quarterback.
yes. And I said for me, the Washington football team, they're not gonna be able to stop it. You know what I mean? They haven't seen Tom Brady. You know what I mean? They haven't seen a player like this. You know what I mean? I said for me, Washington has to go. Like I said, Washington, the football team has to go after him. Right? They have to pin the ears back. Jack Del Rio has to say, "All right, I'm either gonna be the greatest defensive coordinator, or I'm getting fired after this game. I'm blitzing it. Like I gotta blitz every damn play. You know what I mean? Like." If you don't go after him, it's going to be a long day because Tom Brady's going to sit there and pick you apart. You know what I mean? He's just going to pick you apart. But I see this and I say, I'm not going to count out the Washington football team, right? As much as I'm riding the Buccaneers, right? Not because of bias or anything. As much as I'm riding them, I still say, I'm not going to count out, the field general, Alex Smith. I'm not going to count out a guy who has a positive winning record as a QB in the NFL. You know what I mean? I'm not going to count that guy out. I think the Washington football team with Dwayne Haskins and whatever guy they get from like a grocery store to play quarterback, right? And then Alex Smith. Those are two different football teams. You know what I mean? With Alex Smith, that is an established team.
Alex Smith actually also be there.
Yeah, exactly. That's behind a captain. Even though, that's behind a captain. That's behind a guy who's won in this league. He's a veteran, right? He knows how to win football games. That's a guy who lost everything, you know what I mean? And kept on fighting, right? That's a guy I want to play for, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not counting them out. I'm not counting out an all-star, the best defensive line in the National Football League, right? However, when it all comes down to it, the Washington football team is a very young roster. It's a roster that does not have a lot of playoff experience, you know what I mean? And then you're going against the quarterback with the most playoff experience of anybody else. You mean you're going against an all-star receiving core. You mean you're going against a two-headed running back tandem, right? You're going against a serviceable defense, right?
Defense that flies around the field.
Yeah, exactly. The defense could get picked apart, right? But Alex Smith isn't going to pick them apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so for me, I'm going Bucks here. It's going to get ugly towards the end. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go 35-14. I'm going to say it's a close game and it's going to get ugly.
35-14?
It's going to get ugly.
Okay. I agree with mostly what you said, but one thing I have to disagree with is how you said that they have to blitz Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they do, because if you look at the season, Tom Brady has had difficult games against the Rams and the Bears, right? Both teams didn't have to blitz. They just got pressure with their front four, and with this front four, the best in the NFL, I think it's going to give Tom Brady trouble.
Yeah.
But I don't think the rest of the roster, the rest of that football team, is good enough to stop the Bucs. Again, Mike Evans is we don't know if he's coming back. We don't know if he's out, because I think he's out for 7 to 9 days or something like that. So he could miss this game but be back for the next one.
Okay.
So if he plays, he's still not going to be 100%. Antonio Brown has hit his stride, but Tom Brady is going to have a problem with that. I see Alex Smith. I'm sorry. They shouldn't have won last week's game. They shouldn't be in the playoffs right now. They shouldn't be. Alex Smith looked like he was struggling against practice squad players on our defense.
Yeah.
Again, our defense is playing inspired still, but it's practice squad players. I don't see him doing that, especially with this defense that flies around the field. Terry McLaurin, I think he could get going, but you're gonna have to have the quarterback to be in the pocket, calm, cool, collected, and get the ball to him. I think, again, it's going to start off good, but like how you said, it's going to get ugly. I think 23-10. That's how I think it is. Yeah.
I agree with both of you guys. And I also think that the only way Washington does win is putting pressure on Tom Brady. Because like I said earlier, once he's hit, you could just see it. Like, he likes to express the way he feels. And, he's out of it mentally. But then again, the Bucks, you know, high-powered offense, defense that flies around. I just don't see them losing this game because it's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And even if they don't have Mike Evans, they still have Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, Gronk, Chris Godwin, AB, Scotty Miller.
Yeah.
So I think I have the Bucks. I want to say 31-14.
And one thing I must say about Tom Brady, when you think about Phillip Rivers, right? Like Phillip Rivers is a finger pointer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, it's you, right? Tom Brady's one of those guys. You know what I mean? As much as I love the guy, when Tom Brady gets hit, when things happen, he's a finger pointer.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? He gets frustrated. You know what I mean? He yells. He's gone as far as to slam his helmet on the ground. He's thrown.
Yeah.
You know, he's thrown those little
dropping
iPads,
downs.
right? Yeah. And so I'm not gonna call him a crybaby. I'm saying when things don't go his way, a different side of Tom Brady comes out. And so for me, like you said, little man, if Chase Young starts hitting him like he said he wants to, it's gonna be a different ball game.
I don't know. One thing I gotta say is Chase Young. It's your first playoff game, first playoff experience. You're going against, in my eyes, I think top 5 quarterback of all time. I don't think he's the best. I don't think he's the GOAT, I think he's the GOAT, but not the best. But I think when you have Tom Brady, a top 5 quarterback of all time, most Super Bowls, has the experience. I don't think you want to get him going. I don't think you want to talk crap to the point where you get him going. And Bruce
Especially
Arians,
if you're a rookie.
And Bruce Arians too. I mean, he's kind of crazy. Like I think he's gonna call some crazy plays. He's gonna get fired up. He's that type of coach to get fired up when someone talks crap to him.
Yeah.
So I think it's a recipe for disaster when it comes to.
I also will say
watching
this:
football.
I won't be surprised if they somehow win this game, because I do think they have the right coach to do it.
Yeah, I love Ron Rivera. I just don't think they have the right roster and the firepower to keep
Not
up
yet,
with them.
not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah. So we're done with all the games. All the Wildcard weekend games. Honestly, I've been looking forward to this. You know, we've never seen this. We've never seen 6 games in a weekend, 6 playoff games. I think all of them are going to be great, except for the exception of the Bears and the Saints.
Yeah.
I think all of them are going to be pretty good games.
Let us know down in the comment section, like who you think's will win the game, right? Let us know your team as well too, right? And let us know if you thought we were right and wrong, right?
Yeah.
And we don't need anybody coming at us saying, "Is your team in the playoffs?" Okay, because we all know none of our teams made it.
Yeah, none of our teams made it.
You don't have to be a prick about it, right?
So what do you want to conclude us here?
Yeah. Thank you for watching another episode of 3 Guys on Mic.
Subscribe, like, comment down below, guys. Mean a whole lot.
And answer our polls too on Instagram.
Please answer our polls. We'd love to interact with you guys.
We'll put our Instagram down in the bio, right? Thank you guys.